Blackpool champion. She's in the middle of the pack for qualifying, but I don't think that's going to hurt her at all. I think, in fact, what you probably find, she'll make a bit of gap to those in front. But I reckon Annalene Boutons as the logical winner. However, dark horse would be Simon Cleaver. What a show we saw from him in the earlier heat race.
Yeah, fantastic, wasn't it? But as you say, you're going to have to be brave to put this one past Annalene Boutons, as I raced against her in her first heat, and she was gone. You know, there was no stopping her. She was off and away.
I think if Annalene qualifies on pole, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for anyone to do anything at all. If they don't have her sorted on the first lap, it's game over.
Yeah.
If she crosses that line on the first lap, having completed the first lap in the lead, you got your winner right there. Very, very high quality from Annalene Boutons. But, well, we'll see what happens, because these guys are not going to want to lie down. Ian Anderson, we've seen some great racing by him earlier on. He was right up there. And, of course, as we've already mentioned, Simon Cleaver. Alex Van Gien, very tough. Chris Daines was doing surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I think he ran second or something, didn't he?
Second or third.
Yeah, Tyler Mays. Who in their right mind? What idiot is going to discount Tyler Mays? Certainly not us. So we never know quite what we're going to get out of this race. They're on their qualifying, well, they're coming round to start their qualifying laps now. The first one's out. We'll just sit back and see what happens here, Steve.
Yep, let's have a look and see. Azri Makram, the first man through, and I think that was it Simon Cleaver. He's good through his thing. Obviously, these are just the opening laps, but as I've said before, it's always a good edge, I think, if you can get a quicker lap time as you can on your out lap. Because if you look at it from leaving the pits, you're not probably losing that much time, James, when you leave the pits, even though it's from a standstill. Because the cars do get up to speed pretty quickly.
Steve, we've got Annalene Boutons. Her out lap was a 35.5.
Wow.
And so, you know, that is just ridiculously fast.
I wonder if she does the same as me. I wonder if she goes out just to see her name first.
Makram is Parisian pole. No, he's been beaten by Tyler Mays.
Mays.
34.9. That's interesting. In 34 seconds, Tyler Mays. That's competitive, that is. Dimitri Sanders, he's coming in second place.
Annalene coming across now.
Ian Anderson is now 34.7. How fast is that?
Third.
Here comes Annalene Boutons, though. What's going to happen here? Annalene is bundled down to third, as you rightly pointed out there. 35.0. But two drivers in front of her, all in, or both in 34 seconds. Tyler Mays second, and the incredible Ian Anderson has popped it on the pole, 34.7. Dimitri Sanders in fourth place. Chris Daines fifth. Asim Akram in sixth. Simon Cleaver runs seventh. We didn't see him qualify brilliantly, we saw him race up earlier on. Stephen King eighth. Alex Van Gien is in ninth with a 36.1. I think he'd be disappointed at that. And Cheyenne Davis is running 10th place. Now, Ian Anderson, very, very fast, very strong, very solid. Tyler Mays, very fast. We'll see how he competes in the race, but I reckon he's a good bet. Annalene Boutons, we'd say yes, she's qualified third, but her ace in the ace up her sleeve right now is going to be strategy. Surely the best strategic brain, or more important, the most experienced strategic brain out there is going to be Annalene Boutons, and she's going to have to think of something to get around those two ahead, because it ain't going to be a giveaway, this one.
No, it isn't, and like you say, she just had her brother Ruben there just coming down to the pit lane just to say something to her, so it's some communications going on there between, you know.
Give her a yelling at, probably.
Yeah.
It's, I always think they do a lot of travelling, these two, to various races, and sometimes it must be joyful and sometimes it must be some bad words being said. Anyway, we got a decent race start here. Bit of a struggle at the back there in the mid-pack. Okay, down the back stretch there, we've got the number 9. There's Anderson. And it's Annalene Boutons running third. We're going to be keeping a bit of a watching brief on her as Ian Anderson races around that final corner. He's going to cross the line, and that's it. And then Tyler Mays, and then Annalene Boutons. As they come around, it's Ian Anderson, 34.8.
Coming too early. We've got a pit stop. That's number 18.
Who on earth has come into the pit?
On the very first lap.
It's somebody.
We've not come through.
It's too far into the series to be making that kind of error now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everybody knows you shouldn't do it, and people are still doing it, but it's only costing them. Stephen King, he's written his own horror story with that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, well said, yeah, absolutely. But like you say, we are too far into the proceedings now. You don't pit on the first lap, give yourself a few laps, see where you are, and then if you will find yourself in traffic, make the pit stop. What a shame.
Yeah, give yourself a few laps or give yourself a penalty, as I think he's found out. However, Tyler Mays is now fastest out there on the racetrack. He's closing in on the race leader, Ian Anderson. Anderson seemed to pull away a little bit, but it's Tyler Mays right in his bumper. Check this out.
Yeah, look at that, Anderson and Mays. But Annalene Bouton's just dropping off slightly there, and she's got right behind her Dimitri Sanders and Chris Daines, two very, very quick drivers, and they're right on the heels. And whatever Ruben said to Annalene, I don't think it's working because she's dropping away quite quickly from the back of Anderson and Tyler Mays.
Absolutely. Strategy-wise, it's going to be Annalene Bouton's, but the closer she is to the leaders, the greater effect that strategy is going to have. The more she falls away, the more desperate that strategy is going to become if she's going to win this race. However, even if anywhere in the top three is going to be a lot of points, but a driver of that standard, former ladies world champion, she's going to be looking for the win every time. I think that Ian Anderson has done a great job. Tyler May still fastest out there as we speak. And following Annalene Bouton, who's third, is Dimitri Sanders with Chris Daines fourth. This could get to be a tough one, to be fair.
It could, and like you say, they're all sticking together, aren't they? Anderson and Mays. There is that little gap back to Annalene, but as you said, all those titles she's got under her belt, she'll just be watching and waiting for her chance to pounce. Just been told by Ollie just to remind drivers that, of course, you don't pit on the first lap. That was just a reminder, basically, to all the drivers. So,
well, you think it'd be pretty darn obvious now. We've had a few people fall foul of that in the second round. But look at this, Tyler Mays is the fastest on the track again. He set a couple of successive fastest laps. He's all over the back of race leader Ian Anderson. As they cross the line, they've got a clear lead over Annalene Bouton's. And we've got someone in the pits. Yes, we have. It's Chris Daines. Chris Daines in fifth place. He pits out of fifth. He's running fast and clearly feels that he's better served by running on his own.
Yeah, slightly slower stop there, though. He was stationary at the second stop, just slightly too long, so that might have cost him a second or so. But he's come in and got out of the way, and he's not far behind Mr. Is it Stephen King? No, he's just by Cheyenne Davis, who, of course, yet to stop. But that's giving him a bit of clear track and see if he can get some lap times in now.
But the four karts ahead of that pair, Chris Daines and Stephen King, are all running much slower than them. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Talking of running fast, we've got Ian Anderson, Tyler Mays running at absolute record speed. For this race at least. Annalene Bouton's, you'd like to call it a bit of a watching brief in third, but I'm quite surprised she's fallen back this far already, but I'm sure she knows what she's doing. She's got something up her sleeve. Certainly, if anyone can strategize themselves out of this, it's going to be her. However, Dimitri Sanders doing a great job in fourth place of keeping the three ahead of him up inside, in sight. So it's not over from his point of view. And Asim Akram, who we saw struggling in earlier heat, is up into fifth place.
Yeah, going back to the race leaders, Sanderson and Tyler Mays, you can literally not put a toothpick between their carts. They are absolutely together, welded together like glue. And Tyler Mays just fainting to the outside as they go through the double hairpin bit at the top of the circuit. And it's just, again, he's just looking for that opportunity, that mistake. That is it going to come from Ian Anderson as they come down to the back straight.
Okay, and on screen there, we've been looking at the Asim Akram, Simon Cleaver, Alex Van Gien battle. Alex Van Gien, well, it's always quite a nervous sight seeing him lurking there behind the other drivers. You know if he can have a shot, he will take it. There it is. There's Akram, there's Cleaver, and there's Alex Van Gien just coming around that bottom hairpin there to start another lap as they cross the line now. There's Alex Van Gien, the third in that lineup. Here we are. Here's Akram, and then Cleaver, and then Van Gien on screen. Very, very racy. You know Alex Van Gien's going to be racy, but so is Simon Cleaver. And Asim Akram, of course, holds the lap record up there in Edinburgh, so, he's no slouch.
So a very, very close race all down the field, isn't it? And I still can't take my eyes off this battle at the front, Anderson and Tyler Mays. They are so close together. And again, that's going to be another call for the pit stops with those guys, isn't it? Who's the quickest out of there? Are we going to have another repeat of Kim Ensign, though, and fluff it up? And I hope not, fingers crossed, but under all that pressure, someone might fold.
It's easily done, Steve. What's interesting, though, if we go back to this battle we're looking on screen, here we are, fifth place, Asim Akram. Now, Asim Akram, they're approaching this backstretch now. When we come down the backstretch, look how, after the hairpin, Akram goes to the left, away from us, when the actual line is to the right. So after this hairpin, as he comes out, he's been running left. See how he gives a lot of space to the left. Every time Cleaver's been looking up the inside there. I reckon Simon Cleaver's going to start with some ideas, but he's in the pit lane. His idea is actually to pit away from that problem. I don't think he likes what he's seeing from Akram, and he thinks he can run faster than him. Alex Van Gien moves up a place. I think Chris Daines is going to move up a place. Obviously, Simon's going to lose a few. Yeah, he's lost to Daines. He may well lose to Cheyenne Davis. Yes, he does. He might even lose to Stephen King.
Stephen King, yeah, but remember those two have got a Cheyenne still yet to pit, and Stephen King, of course, yet to take his penalty again for coming in on the first lap. So not really a worry for Chris Danes there.
Yeah, but Chris Danes and Simon Cleaver do need to be aware that Stephen King did have that extra penalty. He's not taken it yet, or has he?
No, he's not taken it yet, no. Whether he's aware of this fact or not.
I'm not sure whether they'll know. They will have probably all seen him pit too early, but whether it's registered too early is another matter. You know, they may have seen it, but whether they realise the implication is a whole different game.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? He'll get disqualified then if he comes across without pitting, so... Shame for Stephen King, but unfortunately, if you don't play by the rules, that's what happens.
Well, he's the one driving the cart, so, you know, we can't make his decisions for him. Number 11 there, that of course is Aston McCram. Alex Van Gien has actually closed in since Simon Cleaver pitted out of the middle of that group there. We just saw them coming down. Now, yep, there we are. So there's Akram and Van Gien just crossing the line now. Behind them must be Chris Danes and then Cheyenne Davis. So Akram Van Gien on screen. This is Chris Danes, yeah, that's Chris Danes. Then we'll get Cheyenne Davis and Simon Cleveland. Here
we go, back to this battle at the front as well. It is Ian Anderson and Tyler Mays. Those two still yet to stop. 0.5 of a second between them. Again, just that slight bit of a gap now. Ian Anderson may be pulling, but is Tyler Mays sitting back? You know, he's had an attack. He's going to sit back for a couple. Anderson does.
Look at this. They both hold the current record laps for this race. 34,000.
Yeah, what are the odds of that? Incredible.
Yeah, we can't ask for a closer race than that one. So we're just going to wait and see what happens. I think these two can see. We've had someone in the pits. Gosh, we missed that one, but who was it? It was a blue suit with white helmet. We're going to see him coming around in a second. It's very tight there. It's the 11. It's
Azim Akram.
Azim Akram, yes. Well, Azim Akram, I think he's come out in front of Simon Cleaver there. So the whole reason for pitting early was to get away from Azim, and now he finds him.
It's not worked for him, has it? It was a good attempt, but Azim obviously put in the fastest laps.
Can I cut in? I think the lead group is, or the lead pair. Oh, Tyler Mays has responded with a faster lap. He's got a new lap record for this race, and I think they are closing the back group. Now we've got someone in the pits. 12 is
Cheyenne Davis.
So Cheyenne Davis drops to 10th. That probably is good news for the lead pair. Well, just one less person they have to tackle on the track.
So now we've got Ian Anderson and Tyler Mays both coming up to traffic.
They are on
you can
screen,
see,
absolutely. And they're coming down the back stretch. Now they're going to be in the background there. So we've got 3 carts coming through. And there's Akram and who is it? It's Simon Cleaver. But it's behind them that the lead battle is. There they are turning in at the end of the back stretch there. It is Ian Anderson versus Tyler Mays. Still no pit stops, not this time either.
No, but it's like you say, it's the rate they're going to draw them in. They're wrapping more than half a second quicker most laps than the 3 guys in front of them. So within 2 or 3 laps, they're not going to be far behind at all. And then see them make the pit stops to avoid the traffic.
Absolutely. Strategy suggests perhaps they will, because they're going to come up to 3 slower carts. Why is that strategy so important? Because lurking there in 3rd place, Annalene Boutons, former ladies world champion, and someone who knows exactly how to think her way through a race.
It is absolutely, as you say, and is she going to use that strategy? Oh, someone in the pit, Alex Van Gien. Alex Van Gien just coming out, and he's got himself ahead there of Azim Akram. So Alex Van Gien doing well, gaining a position in the pit lane. He just pumped his fist in the air. He's happy with that. So
a very demonstrative driver, Alex Van Gien. I've raced against him a number of times in the past. He's an enthusiast, I'll give him that. But he's had exactly what he wanted. That's precisely what he needed from the pit stops, was to leapfrog Akram and Cleaver. Now, here they are coming down the backstretch, but I think it's going to be behind them, the battle for the lead, is it not? Yes, it is. It's Ian Anderson still with Tyler Mays glued to his tail. Now, will they come in? They've seen not 3 but 4 carts in front of them, but neither coming in yet. Round, surely here's Annalene Boutons, that's right. So there's the danger from a strategic point of view, but you know, I don't think she's done enough in pure pace to actually threaten those leaders, no matter what the strategy is now.
No, she has fallen away quite considerably, hasn't she? She's not got the pace that I think both of us expected of. But what I can't believe is how quick Ian Anderson and Tyler Mays have closed up on that massive group of Azim Akram. Driver number is Alex Van Gien and Simon Cleaver.
Absolutely.
They're literally right behind them as they come
and we can see him on screen. They're part of the group. Now, who in their right mind is going to want to tackle this lot? Surely you're going to want to pit out the way.
Oh,
is anyone going? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays, the fastest on the track in this race, has come in and just about making it there. It looked like he was going to shoot it. He was waiting for that green light, wasn't he? He's edging forward. He's got the green. He's looking good. Now, that's a crucial stop there. How has he worked out there? He's got someone coming through. Is that Cheyenne Davis? Cheyenne Davis may...
Dimitri Sanders.
Dimitri Sanders, okay. So it's Dimitri Sanders, we think. So that leaves it to Ian Anderson to run ahead. He is in the lead still, Ian Anderson. Will he know that... he's got a comfortable lead there. He's bumping his way through there. He's coming in now. This is interesting here. Now, how is this going to shake out? Because he's got Tyler Mays coming in fast. He's got Annalene Boots in second lead, but she's not pitted. Here comes Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays has got momentum, but Ian Anderson has track position. It's going to be very tight in the hairpin. It's Anderson. Look at that, Mays. He can't do it. It's they're matching each other's speed.
Tyler Mays, the shake of the head there, I couldn't believe it. He was almost sure he was going to get that position, but I thought it was going to come unfolded there for Ian Anderson, because Tyler Mays made that very strategic stop, came into the pits as Ian Anderson was approaching the back markers, and I thought he was going to get held up by them all, and it was going to allow Tyler to come through and take advantage, but not this time.
Absolutely. What was interesting as well, it seemed to me that Ian Anderson had got the worst deal by being a lap later. Now we've got someone in the pits. It is the 10. It is, of course, Dimitri Sanders. Dimitri Sanders pits out of 4th, and we'll see where he ends up cycling back in. I think he might be all right. No, he's going to get past. He's going to get passed by Chris Danes, is it? Yes, it is. Chris Danes moves forward. He's beating the steering wheel, is Dimitri Sanders.
Very unhappy
He knows
about
what
that.
he's beating the steering wheel again. He might want to concentrate more on driving it, and he'll go quicker. But yeah, all right, we've had enough of that, Dimitri. You know,
Calm down.
yeah, you need to focus. But yes, he did lose that place to Danes, and clearly that's not what he had in mind.
No, absolutely not. But very, very upset with that. But we've still got Annalene Boutons up front now. Remember, she's still yet to make a pit stop. 3 seconds get back to both Ian Anderson and Tyler Mays, so she's going to lose a position to them.
Yeah,
it depends how far.
There's no way she can keep that lead, I'm sure. Coming in again, Dimitri Sanders. Was there a problem? Because he's actually coming again. Maybe that's what he was beating the steering wheel about. He knew he'd blown the stop rather than Chris Danes, although it's a double whammy in that respect then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't see it go yellow, but obviously it must have done, so he's fluffed the pit stop. I thought we were there thinking it was because he came out behind someone, but no, obviously a problem in the pits for Dimitri Sanders there.
Not that he's going to see it this way at the moment, but mercifully from his point of view, he's come out ahead of the Akram and Cleaver battle. So, you know, he's going to be pretty difficult to reason with right now, but it could have been a bit worse than it is.
Yeah, another second or two and he could have been right at the back of that train, couldn't he? So he's got to look at the positives, even though he won't think there is any. He's got to look at the positives. When's Annalene going to pitch? She's got 6 minutes to do so. She is in a bit of clear air at the moment. She's coming up on the back of Simon Cleaver and Azim Akram, that big battle. So
right.
I would think by the time she gets up to that battle, she'll come in the pits. But we'll have to see. She's lapping, doing 34.5s every lap. So she's on the pace, but it's what time she comes to call the pit stop.
Right, on current laps, she's running about a 1/10 of a second slower than Anderson. What Annalene Boutons needs for this to work is to actually start running faster than them. She's clear at the moment. She needs to set some times and pull a gap in order to be able to pit and come back out the lead. But as things stand, it's not going to happen. Plus, she's got Simon Cleaver and Asim Akram ahead of her. So whatever happens, she's sort of in a bit of a rock and a hard place here, because there was Annalene Boutons just going through. So here's the Akram Cleaver battle. There's Annalene Boutons, and there are the two she's actually trying to draw away from. By drawing away from the ones behind Anderson and Mays, she's going to run straight into the back of Cleaver and Akram. She would normally want to pit away from Cleaver and Akram, but that's not going to give her the kind of track position and distance she needs on the two chasing her down. So there comes the rock and hard place. I think Annalene Boutons is looking at a 3rd place at best from this, so I think it's gone wrong for her.
It has a bit, and it's Chris Danes that you've got to watch as well, because all the time that Annalene could potentially be getting held up by this Azim Akram and Simon Cleaver battle, Chris Danes is in a bit of clear track, and he's going to be putting the laps in. He's just done a 34.5 himself, so he's matching the same pace as Annalene, and if he keeps the lap times coming in, he's only 15 seconds in front of Annalene, with the pit stop being 10-11 seconds average. It could happen, and he's got to believe in that.
Yeah, this is where it gets cagey, because Annalene, obviously, she's going to be aware of those behind her. She could be thinking about winning the race, but we know her problem now, whether she realises it or not, is actually maintaining 3rd. She's catching up the Cleaver-Akram battle. This is what's crucial about it. They're running a much slower pace than Chris Danes. If she gets held up by them, Chris Danes may actually leapfrog her in the pits. Now here it is. So she's gone down the inside of Cleaver there. That's exactly what was needed. There's Asim Akram coming up next for her to tackle down the backstretch. Here comes Asim Akram. Now Annalene Boutons is the race leader. There she is in the number 21 turning in now. There's Cleaver a lap down. Here are the two battling for 2nd and 3rd, who are going to assume the lead. The crucial one though is Danes, who's a bit further back. Chris Danes is he's setting faster laps than Annalene Boutons, so he's doing what he needs to take 3rd place. The permutations of this is a mathematical race, this one, isn't it?
It is very mathematical. It's going to take a lot of strategy. We've just had the blue flags going out there. I think that's for the 2 race leaders. once Annalene comes in, that'll be Ian Anderson and Tyler
Cleaver
Mays.
lets one of them through, but not the other. I don't think he realised there were two cars. So Annalene Bouton's now down the inside. So there's the race leader, 21 Boutons. Ian Anderson, Tyler Mays are running second and third close behind. There's no way Annalene can fight those for the lead. They will assume that lead to lead two positions when she pits. The question is Chris Danes, who's running fourth. He's faster than Annalene. He's doing what he needs to do to actually leapfrog her to third place when she pits. All this battling with the back markers costing Annalene time.
It is costing her time, but she's doing exceptional, isn't she? She's weaving her way through them. It's like a knife through butter. She isn't losing any time at all. And
she's actually set her personal best of the race, which is slightly quicker than Chris Danes. So doing what it takes, whether she realised it or not. But I think, to be honest, I'd like to see her in the pit sooner rather than later. At that third place, here she is, down the pit. So the race leader pits. It's Annalene Boutons. Through to the lead goes Ian Anderson. Through to second goes Tyler Mays. Annalene Boutons, the first stop's good. The second stop is good. Just about. She was close to jumping that one, but she's got away from Chris Danes, and that's not counting. In fact, she's got away clearly from Chris Danes. Chris Danes needed to do a little bit more to catch up. It looked a lot closer than it actually turned out to be.
Yeah, it was. She actually probably gained a bit of time there. I thought Chris Danes, if he got his head down, he could have done a few laps and caught up onto the back. But
yeah,
not
we've
in this
seen Chris Danes' pace drop off by a few tenths in the last couple of laps, which obviously was what was crucial to him trying to leapfrog to third. And that, I think, with 2 laps to go, I think we've seen the race result there. However, Anderson versus Mays, how much does Mays want to win this race? That's going to be the question, because he's got to ask himself, do I want to win this or not? Because they are very close, and they are very fast, and they are very evenly matched.
It's very true, and they're coming up to a lot of back markers as well that could play a part, but obviously, a lot of them being very good and just moving out of the way straight away. But all it takes is
here's
one.
that battle right here, isn't it?
Oh, that's number 10. That'll be Dimitri Sanders and Alex Van Gien. They're resuming their race-long fight.
With Simon Cleaver.
They've been completely glued together the entire race, and they'll know the back of the carts by braille at the end of this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those times when it's great that we've got electronic timing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that one. It's thousands through lap times, but it's whether, I think, if Ian or Tyler get held up here, it could easily. We've got to move.
Alex Van Gien nearly lost to Dimitri Sanders. They're still side by side.
And this is
He's
holding
still
up.
hanging on.
This is holding up Ian Anderson. Anderson's been caught, and now Tyler Mays is right behind him. This is just what they wanted. Here we are. The blue flags have come out, but it's allowed Ian Anderson and Tyler Mays right together again. And Tyler, who was a few tenths behind, is now close right up.
Look at the replay, though. That's that lunge. That was Dimitri Sanders. It's not worked out for them, though, because Van Gien managed to take the position back. Oh, and across the line, they're still bumping more with the 2 leaders amongst that. Ian Anderson versus Tyler Mays. Oh gosh, where is this coming out? They're still rubbing each other. They're fine. Now there's Anderson in the lead. There's Tyler Mays, so it hasn't affected the lead, but Sanders is now ahead of Van Gien. Van Gien loses a place to Asim Akram.
And there's battle. And again down the inside.
Cleaver and Cheyenne Davis behind them.
Wow, incredible racing there. And Alex Van Gien getting thrown around like a rag doll, but somehow he's managed to stay on track and facing in the right direction. The 2 race leaders have got through now, but they are still very, very close, and they're going to be coming up, I think, 20 seconds left.
It's going to be the flag.
And they've done it, the flag's out. So it is a win for Ian Anderson, number 9. He takes it after that race-long battle with Tyler Mays.
What a race.
I need to catch my breath after that.
Absolutely, Steve. The exciting thing there was you and I talking over each other, talking about 3 different drivers each. So incredible thing there. So much to talk about at the end of that race. So Ian Anderson, well, he's come from the Faroe Islands, has been worth it because he's won that heat race there from Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays, though, was the fastest on the track in that race, but let's be fair, that was a while ago. This battling has cost some time. Annalene Boutons managed to hang on to that 3rd place, started 3rd. Chris Danes came in 4th. He thought he was going to leapfrog to 3rd, but it didn't quite work out for him. Stephen King, now, when we first saw him, he was running at the back, and somehow he's come through at the 5th. We didn't notice that, did we?
No, but I didn't think he took his second pit stop, did he? Because remember, he came in on a lap early. I never saw him came in for his second penalty stop.
Ollie Demetrius Fox maybe waving that stick around again, mightn't he?
Could be, yeah. We'll have to wait and see on that one. It'd be a shame, because that'd be a good result for Stephen if he has, because if he'd have pitted a lap later, that result would stand. But
especially
we'll have to
considering on the opening lap he frankly blew it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dimitri Sanders came in 6th. Asim Akram, so much fighting with Sanders, Akram, Van Gien in 8th place, Simon Cleaver there. And Simon, of course, has gone the opposite end of the scale to where he was earlier on, so he won't be so pleased with that one. Cheyenne Davis in 10th, and also there as part of that massive group of just insanity that was going on, not least of which that massive group had the leaders in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it was all kicking off there, and as I say, thank goodness for electronic timing, because now we can work out what the heck's gone on rather than have to guess it.
Yeah, it was a brilliant race, that, wasn't it? A great way to end. We've got a bit of a break now, so it's good good way to end for half an hour while the drivers all
Absolutely.
take us take a well-earned breather.
Absolutely. So obviously we're going to be starting the third round of heats coming up with heat 1 of round 3. We're going to be sticking, I believe, with the same layout, but that might change. Obviously I'm just the commentator, I'm not the one making the decisions. The karts are obviously getting a check over. Those of you who've been watching us online, we're going to be off the air for a bit till 8 o'clock, which is when we're going to resume, and we're going to have the first half of the heats running through to about 10:30 tonight, live. So if you've been enjoying the action on the internet, please stay with us. My name's James Auld. I'm the commentator of BRKC. I've been joined here by Steve Gray, who's a commentator as well. So thank you, Steve. It's been some great action. Thanks for your input on that.
No problem, James.
We've seen some exciting racing, haven't we?
Oh, we have. It's been brilliant. It's what the BRKC is all about, isn't it? I mean, everyone comes down here for some great racing, and the level of competitiveness we've got this year with some of the drivers is great, and it's just great to be a part of it. Even if you finish in 9th, 10th, you know, you're still having a great race, gaining points, and it's all experience which you come back year after year, and those points will make prizes.
Absolutely, a lot of people gaining a lot of experience. There's nobody really who kind of doesn't belong at this level, making it tough for everybody. So we do have it coming up next. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, and as I say, we'll be back on with the next round of heats from 8 o'clock. Stay with us.